Hi, I'm Ben Messenger for Waste Management World. We're at the RWM show in Birmingham. I'm Gavin Shuker, Shadow Minister for Waste. Gavin, I understand you've released a policy today. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure, the speech today that I've given is essentially an argument economically for why we can't neglect this industry. For me, I feel very strongly that in order to get the kind of growth that we're going to need, right now we're in a very difficult economic circumstance. We need new industries and new green jobs to emerge. Waste and resources has a massive knock on to the wider economy, and so we need to win that economic argument. We need to see government intervention, not directly in terms of spending loads of money, but clear and consistent leadership on the environment to ensure that we create new growth and new jobs in the years to come.
And what role do you see recycling playing in that?
I think recycling is massively important. If you look at, for example, my government's actions on the landfill tax escalator, one of the most successful policies to drive cultural change across a lot of sectors, maybe out of all sectors. Targets have got to be aligned to what we can do in terms of infrastructure though as well. So while we have to meet our obligations to recycle 50% of municipal waste by 2020, we equally need industry confidence to make sure the infrastructure is there in the first place. You can't just raise the target and then seek to undermine it in your rhetoric, as this government is doing. You've got to back it up with clear and consistent leadership.
So what can the government do to actually free up some finances and the waste projects are struggling to get off the ground because they can't receive financing from the banks? What can the government do to ease that?
Well, there's two things, aren't there? First of all, we know that this government is really struggling at getting banks to lend. And here we are at this show, there's some really innovative and exciting products. I spend all my time going and visiting different businesses and seeing how difficult it is to get new technologies off the ground. But if those technologies come off the ground, actually we're going to create jobs and growth which develops a healthy effect in the economy. I suppose the second thing that government can do though, more than anything else, is work to develop a culture of confidence amongst investors. At the minute, when people like George Osborne come out and they say we shouldn't go any faster or any slower when it comes to transitioning our economy than other countries, that sends a chilling effect throughout the investor community. So I want to see the next Labour government being clear and consistent in saying that there is growth to be had in waste and resources, but it won't happen without strong political leadership.
What role do you see waste to energy playing in Labour's waste policy?
I think waste to energy is part of the mix that we need. What I would say though is in local communities, people quite understandably get quite concerned about new plants and new infrastructure coming in. The one thing that we need to be able to do as politicians when we say this is the right choice for us as a country is say there's some kind of design behind it. Now I have questions about this government's approach to that. It talks localism on one hand, but then is willing to pull the rug out from underneath the carpet on the other, leaving local communities unsure and uncertain about what comes next. Again, policy certainty is really important. It'll mean that we have the right mix in the right places around the UK. Right now though, we don't have that policy certainty.
Gavin, it's been great talking to you.
Great.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.